Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. If you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I hope that everyone had a really nice holiday season. We sure did on this end. And we have, as usual, a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment for you here tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers who are stopping by tonight to check us out, I hope you have a good time with us and decide to join us here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we simulcast this podcast to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be there waiting for you. To our regular viewers who are here week after week and season after season, you guys are the one that make this possible and keep this thing going. We thank you so very, very much for that. We've got some comments coming in. We'll take those real quick, and then we also have Rob waiting in the green room for us. We're going to bring him on in just a moment. Let's see comments. David from Alaska Railroad says, "Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year." Back at you, David. Appreciate it. Hope you had a nice holiday season. Someone on Facebook is saying Happy New Year, everyone. Reese Fleury says, "Loud and clear, Tupper Lake, New York, regular viewer." Cool deal. Another Facebook user saying loud and clear. Mike McAlargy, Caseville, Michigan. Outstanding. Regular viewer. Brent Corbin says, "Hey, Mike, hope you're well. Mid Michigan." And then can see and hear you well from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. Cool deal. And Kevin Culhane, regular viewer watching from Virginia Town, Kearns, Ontario. I'm going to take one more and then we'll bring Rob on, and please keep the comments coming. But once we bring Rob on, we'll bring the comments. We'll continue with the comments with him on as well. Roger Cormier says, "Hello, everybody from Winnipeg, Canada." Rode our vintage sleds last weekend. It was great, but now the temperatures are warming up and not much new snow in the forecast. Yeah, we're getting the same thing here. Very disappointing. But all right, let me switch gears here, get where I need to be, and we're going to bring our good friend Rob Hilditch on. One click away, and there he is.
Hello,
Rob,
Mike.
Happy New Year.
How was your New Year's?
Very nice. How was yours?
I did stay up past midnight, like 10 after 12, but that's enough for me. You had a comment from a person from Tupper, New York.
Yes, Tupper Lake, New York. Let me see. That was.
I'm going there next week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tell us about this event, so maybe he can be over there looking for you.
It's Lake Plazic is doing the University Olympics or something. So my nephew is playing on Team Canada, and we're going to go down and watch some snowboarding and jumping, and we're staying in Tupper.
Wow. No kidding. Well, that is cool. Well, hopefully, Reese Fleury is going to that event, and maybe the two of you can hook up somehow.
Tell him to send you a message, and if he can send me some good restaurants to go to, I'll bring him down a hat.
Wonderful. Yeah, let me post an email address on the screen. Reese, if you could contact me at this email address, I will forward that to.
And is there any snowmobile rentals there? We're hoping to rent one for a couple of days while we're there, if they have snow.
Yeah, good question.
We got grass showing here.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. Most of the snow belt right now, I think, is more of a green belt than a snow belt.
Even our ski hills have to shut down.
Oh man, that hurts. Yeah. That hurts. Thankfully, ours here in northern Vermont are still open. They rely on a lot of snowmaking during the colder weather, so I think they still got a bit of a base, but I'm sure they're going to be struggling here if this keeps up.
Yeah.
But well, cool. Yeah, Reese Fleury, if you're able to send an email, I'll forward that to Rob and put the two of you together so you can communicate on that. Very cool. So let's see. We have let me take a couple of quick comments. A few more have come in, and then we've got a full slate of stuff to look at tonight. Josh Leviker says, loud and clear, cool deal from upstate New York. And Reese Fleury says the snow has gone there as well. He's talking about Tupper Lake. So, Stacy and Art Fosler, regular viewers from Platkill, New York. Question for Stacy and Art. Did you see your footage on the Muscle Car podcast last night? That came off really great, by the way.
Yeah, that was a good video they did.
For sure. Yeah, Stacy did a great job interviewing and narrating that. Let's see, we've got Josh Leviker. There's a sled show he's telling us about on 2/18 at Whiskey Jack's in Seaville, New York. Seaville, what's that? I'm not sure. I'm drawing a blank too. But also the possibility of having a large spring sled show at the Lowville Fairgrounds, 5/27/23. Good to know. Good to know. That's something to put on the calendar. Oh, and one more comment. Reese Fleury says he will send me an email. Wonderful. We will look forward to that and put the two of you in touch. And yeah, very, very cool. So we have a full slate of stuff for us to enjoy tonight. Over the weekend, I was in Lancaster, New Hampshire, and I got an interview with Paul Crane at the Lancaster Motel. Now, what was going on at the Lancaster Motel? They were having a send-off party for the NBR, for the NBR Racing team. They're heading out to Eagle River, I think tomorrow, and they're planning to do some racing out there. So I did some interviews with them, did an interview with Midge Rosebrook, the founder of the Eastern Racing Snowmobile Hall of Fame, at his home. Got a whole lot of video footage over the weekend, and I'm going to be showing you a lot of it tonight. So let's get back to the menu. We're going to look at an interview now with Paul Crane. This was at that send-off party. I had a chance to visit with him, and I caught him off guard. I just came up to him with a camera and said, "Hey, do you want to talk about your upcoming show?" And he chatted about it for a minute, but I think I caught him off guard. So he didn't have a whole lot to say about it. So what I'm going to do to help compensate is we'll look at that quick interview with him, and then we'll look at some footage from the show in 2020, so you can see the merchandise, so to speak, as far as what that show looks like. Pardon me. So let's, without further ado, let's take a look. Paul Crane. And we have Paul Crane here. How you doing tonight, Paul?
Very good.
Good. Did you have doing well, thank you. In fact, this is a prime opportunity if you want to talk up your snowmobile show that's coming up in February.
Yeah, February 4th, I have a show. Bring up, we're giving trophies away like we do every year, 7th year. And they're not pay entry fee or anything. come into one of the classes, you have to get one of those good trophies.
Yeah, it's one of the nicer shows in northern New England, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
That's February 4th. Right here.
in Lancaster, New Hampshire, on Main Street, right at Crane Snowmobile Museum. And you're the Crane and Crane Snowmobile Museum, right? Cool deal. Good, you. Good call, thank you. So yeah, that all happened at Crane's Snowmobile Museum in Lancaster, New Hampshire. If you like what you're looking at there, they're having another one February 4th right there on Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Anything catch your eye in there, Rob?
I like it when people really bring their antique machine out and use them.
Yes,
Yeah. I like to see people drive them around. Yeah.
for sure.
Even that Arctic Cat, what was that, 1972 or something like
Panther.
that? That was top machine in its day. But you know what? The cleated tracks, they wouldn't move on ice.
Yeah.
Or if you went
or
across the road.
asphalt.
If you went across the road, they just throw sparks. But you couldn't get a better riding machine than a Cat back in those days. But I don't know why they put that cleated track on there.
I agree. Yeah, those cleats were horrible, especially on asphalt.
Yeah.
I've probably told that story before, how I got stuck in the middle of a road one time. Yeah. And I was yanking on it on one of the skis, trying to turn it around, and I broke the spindle. Now the ski's in my hand like this. And thankfully, it was in front of a neighbor's house, and he saw the whole thing, and he came out and helped me. I was like 12, so there's no way I'm getting that out of the road myself, So thankfully, he was there. But yeah. But one quick comment, that red sled, that sled that said Roy on it, that was Mr. Selly, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Now, he and his sons and his grandchildren together have a serious collection of sleds, and a lot of them are rear engine sleds. You may have saw them later in the video pulling on a big rear engine sled. That was him and his sons and possibly his grandchildren.
Yeah. So Roy was a make?
I don't think so. I think it was a Cat. I've heard the story on why they called that Roy, and I'm drawing a blank on it. But there is a story as to why that's Roy. I don't know if it was a model. I almost think it was an early Cat, but I'm not sure. I know they told me the story one time, but I'm just drawing a blank.
Yeah, it was in nice shape, that machine, whatever it was.
Yeah, and they do all those restorations themselves as a family. It's a really impressive collection, really impressive family, really nice people.
Good.
Good. And they show up here and there on my videos and so forth. You've seen his son Aaron on here before, but yeah, let's see. We've got comments coming in. We've got oh yes, Stacy says thank you for the compliment about the video last night on the Muscle Car Podcast. Now they didn't check it live; they were out, but they're going to check it out. So that's cool. I'm glad they're going to take a look at that. James Spranger, good friend of mine. He and I met last week in Morrisville, Vermont. We had lunch together. He's on the podcast. He says he loves the show, and he's a regular viewer in Wausau, Wisconsin. And yeah, very great to meet you, James, last week. That was just a wonderful time we had. And we've got someone from Pittsburgh. Oh, Armand Buteau from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire says hello. Nice to hear from you, Armand. And somebody saying lost audio. Now, does anyone else just see our mouths moving and no audio? Hopefully we've got audio here.
It's working good on my end, Mike.
Good. So hopefully if there's an audio issue, someone else will comment and we'll get some kind of confirmation. But let's keep going with the podcast because we've got so much to cover tonight. We're on item number 2 for some announcements. We're going to talk about AMSOIL here in just a moment, but before we do, I got this image this past week from one of our viewers, Keith Gallagher. This is an image of him and his sister back in the day. They did a skidoo-a-thon as part of a fundraising event. They rode 50 miles that day, and that's Keith on the left. His sister is on the right. He was 6 and she was 8. So how cool is it to see images from back in the day? God love it. Yeah. So thank you so much, Keith, for that image.
Send him a message. Ask him if him and his sister still ride.
Good question. Yeah. If you're viewing, Keith.
My sister and I still ride.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, Keith, if you're viewing, Rob's got a question for you. Please weigh in. So it is that time.
We're both over 65, both of us.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is this a lifelong thing that you've done together, riding sleds?
Well, we have that cabin up north. So
yeah.
we have half a dozen sleds sitting there. So
nice. Plenty of opportunity to ride together.
Yeah.
Very nice. That is cool. All right. It is that time of night. Do you like to talk to us, Rob, about AMSOIL?
Every month, AMSOIL has some kind of promotion thing on. If you buy $75 worth of AMSOIL, they're going to give you 3 shop rags and 3 fast funnels. If you want the best possible deal with AMSOIL, you sign up as a preferred customer. As a preferred customer, you save 25% on anything you buy, and you can mix and match. You don't have to get a whole case of Interceptor oil. You can get some gear lube or small engine oil and some snowmobile oil. And you order $100 worth, they ship it right to your house. But right now, until the 17th, if you buy $75 worth, well, you might as well buy 100. That way you get the free shipping. They're going to throw in these 3 shop rags and funnels for you. and Mike could tell you how to get the best possible discount.
Absolutely. We have with the preferred customer program, it's very similar to a Costco membership. It's just $10, and you can take advantage once you click the box on your order form online for that preferred customer program. You get those discounts that day, the deepest possible discounts you can get from Amsoil. You get that order up over $100, you're getting free shipping. So it's an amazing value. If you're curious about that, there are links in the description. Just click the link to get started. Please use my referral number. When you do, you're helping to support the podcast because I'm signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order Amsoil using my dealer number, which I'll pop on the screen here, you'll see at the bottom in that white stripe on the right there, that's my dealer number. That's a wonderful way to help support this podcast. Rob and I both benefit. So if you like what you see, if you like what Rob and I are doing, it's a wonderful way to support us, and we thank you so much for that. Well, cool. We'll get some comments coming in, and we'll continue with the program here. Okay, here we go. David from Alaska Railroad says the audio is good where he is. We'll get some other people confirming that. John Springer Jr. Says, yes, met with us last week. We had a wonderful time. I wish I had that image. I've got the image on Facebook, and it's also on the Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page, but I didn't think to load it here on the podcast. Maybe I will for next week, so we can prove that we had lunch together. And he was out here from Wisconsin visiting family, and he was less than an hour away, so we got together for lunch, had a great time. Here we go. So item number 3, our good friend Rob Hilditch was on the Snowmobile Sessions podcast Monday night, and we've got a clip of that. You want to tell us a little bit about how that podcast went before we take a look at that?
I met this gentleman at the Toronto Snowmobile Show, and he came over and interviewed me at my booth, and he said, I've seen you on Mike's show. Will you come on my show? And he said, hemmed and hawed, and I didn't say yes or no, because Mike does 2 shows a week already, so that would be 3, and plus I got another commitment to do once a week. So he finally nailed me down on Monday. He says, I'm stuck. I need somebody. Will you come on? Right at the last minute. So he wanted me to send some of my pictures I have. Well, the computer went down, so I'd lost all my old vintage pictures of the snowmobiles and all that. So I had some friends that we did during the summertime racing and stuff like that send me some of the pictures, and we posted them, and we talked about different events I go to and stuff like that. And it was a good little show. 2.5 hours long, a little too long, but
yeah, he does a longer show than we do for sure.
He wanted to do 3 hours.
Wow. Yeah, for sure. It's a longer format than we do here, but he does an excellent podcast. He's really good at it.
And he told me he's going to come see me Sunday at the motorcycle show.
Oh, wonderful. There you go. Cool deal. Without further ado, let's take a look at a few minutes of that podcast and see how that went.
So Rob and I met through the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. That's probably right when you say.
Yeah, and at the Toronto Snowmobile shows.
And then I finally put eyes on you at the Toronto Snowmobile show and had a blast talking to you. You're witty and funny, and I thought, well, I got to get you on the podcast and on my podcast and see how you go, because there's a lot of things I don't think people know about you, like as far as how you got into the Amsoil world and your passions about snowmobiles and particularly vintage. We talked a lot about vintage sleds at the show.
I'm vintage myself.
Yeah, well, it gets better with age, just like a good wine.
Yeah. I turned 65 this year.
Oh. Nice. Well, congratulations. That's great. You don't look a day over 64 and a half.
Oh, thanks.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
I live in Bonneville, Ontario. When I was a kid, we could snowmobile right out of the backyard. My family always had snowmobiles. We had a 10-horse Skidoo, a 12-horse Skidoo, and my dad had an 18-horse. Everybody had to watch out for my dad coming.
Nice.
And I bought my first snowmobile. I think I was about 14. My dad and I both she bought a motor ski, MS-18, a long track and all that. And I bought a mini snow with a 6-horsepower in it.
Oh, sweet.
One weekend, my dad went away, and me and my buddies, we exchanged the 6-horse for the 18-horse. Yeah, that mini snow just all over the place. But we ripped the track out of it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. And about 1979, I got involved with oval racing. I had myself a brand new 79 SRX 440. And I was doing the Ontario circuit, raced Peterborough, Owen Sound, Wasaga Beach, Eganville, all those tracks like that. And I came across a guy named Tim Bender. Tim Bender was parked beside me. Well, Tim Bender was younger than me. And with my SRX, I was running Mikuni carbs. So it was supposed to be a 32-to-1 oil mixture. But with Mikuni carbs, you're supposed to run 16-to-1. So one time I went out for this first heat, and I fouled a plug before you even got on the line. So Tim Bender came over to me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, 32-to-1. I can't keep the plugs until I get around the first corner. Right? He said, "Here, try some of my gas. It's 100-to-1. I said, "I'm going to blow my motor up." He says, "I run 300-to-1 on my pro machine." So I put his in at 100-to-1. First time I ever made it to the finals.
Was that
in 1979? He got me involved in Amsoil, and I've been with Amsoil ever since.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the key is 100 to 1, and that's really when I came up to the show. I had as everyone knows, I've got a vintage outboard motor on my boat. It's a 2-stroke pre-mixed gas and oil, 120 horsepower, a CC is horsepower, and I always struggle with finding good oil. And the only oil, and I'm an oil snob when it comes to the oil for my outboard. It has to be the Mercury full synthetic it has a bit of gold on the label, and everybody's gave me other oil to try, and just run this in it. It's the same oil, blah blah blah, and it's not. And then I was on the forum and someone said, try AMSOIL, 100 to 1, and blah blah. And that's when I come up to you and said, 100 to 1, really? And then you told me that story, and it's like you gave me a sample, which I haven't used in the boat yet, but I have ran it in my weed eater and leaf blower. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. There's zero smoke. I mean,
everybody thinks it's going to blow up because there's no smoke coming out.
No, and it's
100 to 1. You have twice the protection than what still oil does at 32 to 1.
Yeah, and explain how that
higher temperature, so you don't need as much oil. And
that's
more protection. Engines last 2 to 3 times longer.
That's the key. That's the key. Is go ahead and
I had the opportunity to meet the Seabolt families. Do you know them?
No,
they're the factory Mercury racing team, and they could get all the Merc oil they wanted free, and they ran AMSOIL for 30 years in their race boats.
Really?
Yeah, and they could have got Merc oil free, but they bought AMSOIL because they had so much money tied up in their engines.
Yeah. And the key that you explained to me is that it's a lower boiling point base. It's not boiling point. It's flash point. It's a lower.
Most petroleum oils burn off about 200 degrees.
Yeah.
And then they leave carbon stuff and all that behind. AMSOIL doesn't burn off to over 300 degrees. So it leaves more protection behind, and you're not going to foul plugs and stuff like that. So it gives you more protection, higher burn. It doesn't matter if you got a 200 Black Max, a 99, a chainsaw weed eater. Everything runs the same oil mixture. So that way my wife cannot screw up when I say, put one of these bottles in to 5 gallons of gas. Right here, one of these to 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah, and you're good to go. I love it. Yeah. I think that's so simple because
30 years ago at my cottage, you know how many different gas cans I have with all different markets on it? 16 to 1, 32 to 1, 50 to 1, everything.
And that's what I do. It's like you have to go in there like a chemist and mix your oil, and you gave me that container, and it's like, bloop, you're done. Fill it up, and away you go. Put 25 liters in it, and off you go, or 5 gallons, and away you go. It's pretty crazy. And the thing is, my leaf blower has always been a hard starter, and it must be the oil because you put in 100 to 1 and she fires right up because there's more fuel in the mixture now. So it runs a lot better, more power. Is there any tests done that actually show that you get more, I guess, horsepower or more?
AMSOIL made a special dyna machine, and down the States they call them stringer machines. We call them weed whackers up here. And they bought 100 stringer machines, 10 stringer machines from 10 different companies. And they're going to run them on their oil for the first 10 hours, and then they're going to switch half of the AMSOIL. At the end of the test, all the equipment's broke except for one company. They couldn't do the test before the 10 hours up. All the other companies broke except for one company. So they ended up going out to the market and finding landscaping companies. And they found a crew that had 2 crews, and they switched one over the AMSOIL and the other one over to whatever oil they're using before. Yeah. And the one they're using before, the new 2 cycles have a screen in and all that, because you don't have back pressure. You don't get the horsepower of a 2 cycle. So the screen gives you back pressure. And these people, after 30 hours, will clean the screen. After 300 hours with AMSOIL, the screen was still clean.
Yeah, I've seen lots of pictures and videos on that too. And that's thing. Before we talked at the Toronto show, I was watching videos of there's another rep in the US that has posted, and they show the piston skirt, like they pull the engines right apart of those tests you're talking about, and they show the pistons of what the one looks like with this oil and what the one looks like with AMSOIL, and it's amazing how clean everything is. Your exhaust valves and all that stuff. So I think you have AMSOIL, does it not have a reputation to run it? Like it's almost like the Dayco belt thing that we talked with Dayco last 2 weeks ago. Or before Christmas, whenever it was. And Dayco said, like the common misconception is I'll run Dayco belt as my spare when it's superior than of the regular one. How do you get over that stigmatism that AMSOIL is just for my old crap?
I had a guy on our broadcast last week and said, I'd like to run AMSOIL because it's cheaper to buy than the manufacturer's junk. But the manufacturer tells me I got to run their oil to be covered under warranty. I said, no, that's not true. If you see the poster behind me, it says freedom to run. You see, like freedom to run.
Freedom. Yeah.
And that's what AMSOIL came out with. So if you buy a brand new snowmobile, or you got one last year, and you switch over to AMSOIL, the new Skidoo gives you a 1-year warranty. AMSOIL is going to give you a 2-year warranty. They're going to cover any mechanical part that lubricants touch for an extra year, because that's all confidence are in their oils. Now, Bombardier tried to sue us for doing that. You can't warranty our machines, but they lost in court.
Really?
Yeah. So anybody who buys AMSOIL, ask for, we have these things we give you in the case of oil. You go online, sign up, and AMSOIL gives you an extra year.
Yeah.
What the 2 strokes?
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you run her hard, as long as there's oil in it, you're covering it. How do you prove that they didn't run it out of oil or like? Oh,
we do a lot of tractor pulls and events like that, and we're tearing the engines down all the time. And when you tear an engine down, you can tell whether the oil has broke down by the color of the bearings. See, if the bearings have score marks on it, that means a piece of metal from somewhere else went through. So you look at wrist pins and stuff like that. But if it has like a rainbow color on it, it was lack of oil.
Yeah.
It wasn't a piece of metal that went through it. So
No, right.
I do a lot with highway trucks because highway trucks at 10,000 kilometers, they change oil. With AMSOIL, they're going at 70,000 kilometers without changing it. So a lot of guys says, hey, I got 200,000 tied up my truck. I'm not going to go that far. I said, well, here, what I'll do, I'll take an oil sample for you at 10,000. So this one guy's running to Mexico and back. We did an oil sample for him. He had 70,000 kilometers on the truck and we changed the AMSOIL. At 80,000, we did a sample, came back perfect. At 90,000, we did a sample, came back perfect. At 100,000, we did a sample, and they said, take the vehicle in and get the cam replaced. And they said, lobe number such and such is wearing out in the cam. So the guy went in the dealership and said, it's under warranty, change the cam. They said, oh, nothing wrong with your cam. We're not doing that for you. And he says, okay, I'll pay for it. So it was $600 for him to have a new cam put in this truck. They took it out, and number 2 lobe was wore out. And they said, how did you know that? We didn't hear no noise in that. He said, by an oil analysis, they could tell by the metal that's in the oil what part of metal it was and where it came from. And they've had this problem so many other times before. They knew by that engine, it's that there lobe that wears out. So if that truck would have broken in Mexico, the cam would have went, it would have took the timing chain, pistons, everything out. It would have been $5,000, $10,000 down in Mexico to fix it.
Yeah, wow.
So by doing an oil analysis, we can determine what's starting to wear out ahead of time and how well the oil is. Well, Mike, do I really talk that fast?
No, I sped it up.
I hope so.
Just a secret is I speed up a lot of the videos on here so I can cram more content into a smaller amount of space. So I sped it up by about 30%. But excellent information there, Rob. Seriously.
Because I know the interviewer, he was drinking, but I wasn't drinking alcohol.
Sure. But yeah, excellent content there about AMSOIL, and I'm a little embarrassed that I never thought to ask you some of those questions, but I'm glad it finally got out on the podcast. About the oil analysis and everything. That's just really powerful information, and then how it proves the superiority of the AMSOIL product.
Well, a highway truck takes 48 quarts of oil, and at $20 a quart, do you want to change it or you want to do a $35 oil sample?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point.
And by doing that, we're protected under the warranty too.
True.
We had a customer had a Mack truck, and he had a 500,000 kilometer warranty on it. Well, just 10,000 over the warranty, some plastic thing went through the carb and took the top end of the motor out. So he phoned me and said, they're not going to fix it because I'm over by 10,000. I said, get me an oil sample. So I went down and picked up the oil sample. I said, call the rep in. So when the rep came in, I said, call me and I'll come down. So the rep came down, he looked at the motor, went and looked at the speedometer, went back and looked at the motor and said, where's the motor out of this truck? And the mechanic said, that's it right there. And he says, no, this has 500,000 miles on this truck. That engine still has the home marks on it. And he says, well, the guy's been running AMSOIL, and the AMSOIL rep's coming down with the oil analysis. He said, tell him, don't bother coming. We're repairing that for that guy. There was no wear on the inside of the engine. The home marks are still in there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So if anyone is watching this and is thinking, wow, I'm sold on AMSOIL and I'd like to support Mike and Rob as a part of this podcast, there are links in the description. And when you order AMSOIL through us, you're helping to support this podcast. Rob and I both benefit. I'm signed up under Rob, and we both benefit. It's a wonderful way to support the podcast.
And on that broadcast Monday, we talked about my truck. I have 1,300,000 kilometers, which is, I don't know, close to 900 miles on it, 900,000 miles on it. And one guy says that's impossible on a six liter Chevy gas motor. So when the guy's coming to see me Sunday, he wants to take a picture of my speedometer.
Yeah.
Once it turns over the numbers never do line up again. Eh?
Oh, that's how you can tell. Sure. They're offset a little bit.
Yeah. And I said, all you got to do is sit in the front seat and you could tell there's that many miles on it. The seats wore right out. The spring's coming through.
Right.
But the outside of the truck looks good.
Nice. Very cool. Well, let's take a look here at what's next. As I was saying earlier, I was at the Lancaster Motel on Friday. They were having a send-off party for the NBR Racing team. We're on item number 4, by the way, and I was able to get an interview with them. I've got it into 2 parts just to kind of break it up a little bit, but let's take a look at part 1 of visiting with the NBR race team about their sleds and their plans. They're going to Eagle River. I think they're leaving tomorrow. So let's take a look.
It's Lucas Nass, live and in color.
How are you?
Good, nice to see you, man. Happy New Year.
You well.
So we have Lucas Nass right here, and it was Tucker.
That's on.
Sean, nice to meet you, Sean. Cool. Now these guys are NBR. These are the guys. Do you want to tell us what each of you do and talk up what we're looking at?
Mechanics, and then the driver. They make them go, and I just sit there on it and drive it.
Nice.
We spent yesterday testing. We drove up to Maine about 4.5 hours. Gave everything kind of a shakedown and kind of getting ready to go. We leave Friday to head to Wisconsin. So
Yeah. Nice.
we're kind of just one last little shebang here.
Send off party.
That's right. Get everyone together and hang out, socialize.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like talking up how things went last year at Eagle River? Your experience out there?
Yeah. Last year we did really good. I think we left about Monday, got out there Tuesday or Wednesday. Spent a few days testing. We got a test track out there with some friends. So we were able to test out there, got things dialed in and some things changed, and we went on, qualified for the WC, and then once we qualified, we moved on to the quarterfinals and then semifinals down through, and then we actually did not make it in. We got into the LCQ, luckily, and we finished second in that, which put us on the back row for the World Championship. That was good.
Yeah.
We finished seventh in the world last year. So
That's amazing.
That was really good.
We felt like we had a lot of things that we could improve.
Yeah.
Nice. So there's still room to do better, you think?
Always,
Sweet.
Always room for improvement.
Wonderful.
So we changed quite a bit this year, and pretty excited. So we
Very
can't wait. Kind of boys, they've been working hard, and myself, and I think everything's good.
Nice.
We're excited.
Now,
How's it
did-
going?
Hi there. Now, a typical day, if you guys want to talk up a little bit in a typical day, what are you doing with the sleds, to the sleds? What's going on with you guys?
It can either be pretty laid back or we're up till 2 in the morning. You know?
Well, depends what needs to happen.
Oh yeah, like the other night we were up, we had to build air balls. Something just, you gotta have them, so we stayed up. I went to bed around 2 o'clock the next morning, you know.
Wow.
But they came out, we got them working, so that's
It's everything from changing carbides to building air boxes, fabricating foot boxes, and everything else. A little nitty gritty stuff, rebuilding carburetors, clutches, figuring out ski setups and stuff like that. Changing studs, that's a huge thing. There's so many of them.
Sure.
No, it's a lot, but we have a good team. Everyone knows what their jobs are, and Luke's pretty good at his job of driving it. So.
Yeah. And as you're doing all of this, you're trying to prepare yourself for different kind of conditions that you might encounter out there. Condition A, condition B, condition C, that sort of thing.
We really try to have it set up kind of each condition. Note taking is huge. Taking notes of everything that's going on with the track conditions, the weather, air density, everything that goes into that. Knowing what you did in different situations helps out in the long run.
Yeah. So what has and hasn't worked in the past,
Right.
making notes on all that. Yeah. Sweet. Now, do you feel like talking these sleds up a little, or?
So this is Spencer's sled. That's a 340 Supermod that we're going to run at Eagle River. Spencer's going to be first year running out there.
Here comes the man right here, Spencer Vietti. Nice to see you, man.
Well, let's hear about it.
Yeah, he was just starting to talk it up. You might as well take over since you're.
It's a brand Dex chassis. It was built in 2020. It's 340 Supermod.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you stand right next to it. That way, everyone can see the merchandise and the
Eyes
guy.
on the prize.
That's right. Here we go. Go ahead. You were saying, sorry.
It's got a Mike Green engine in it.
Yep.
It's got RPM pipes, and hopefully she goes good.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good contender last year, so I had my first fit this spring. So
Nice.
I'm hoping it goes good.
Nice. Now, talk to me a little bit about your experiences last year, how that went, and what was good, what wasn't good, and what we're hoping to change this year.
Well, we changed quite a few things this year. Hoping that it all works out for us in the end, and hopefully both of us can race this year.
Yeah.
That's what we shoot for.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's been a good year so far. Got a lot of good memories this year, a lot of good stuff. Also have my 500, and I bought a camp chassis.
Yeah.
Working on building that.
Nice.
It's an old 2013 wall chassis. It's an older one. Just something to play around with. And
Yeah.
fun. And get into the IFSers too.
Yeah. You know,
Never just one. We always got like 2, and then Spencer finds another one, and then we got 3.
you gotta diversify, right?
Find another one, and then we got 4.
Good.
We'll sell 1 or 2.
Sure.
And buy another one.
Gotta be diversified.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, we're really excited.
This year's gonna be fun.
We leave a week from today.
Yep.
Wow.
Next Friday.
The adventure begins.
So we
We're
go
going
out.
for 11 days.
Wow.
We're planning to test for 2 days out in Clintonville. We got friends out there and test track, so super excited to go out there and get some more seat time. And then time trials are on Thursday this year. Last year we were out there Friday night. Thunder went till midnight, 1 o'clock. So they changed that back to Thursday. So
try to make it more friendly for the riders and the crews. That way they don't have to go to bed at 1, wake back up at 7.
Yeah, morning comes around fast when you do that, huh?
last year we were racing Friday night. It was probably got done racing at midnight, 1 o'clock, and then we still went through the entire sled. On bolt change, a bunch of stuff, and stud check, and It was a late night.
These two here need some credit.
Yeah.
Me and Lucas wouldn't do this without them.
Nope.
Sure.
Stud
Getting
jack,
up close.
carbide jacks, nut and bolt jack. It's constant, always something.
And it's not just the winter months either. It's year round. I mean,
Year round.
Summertime, these guys are stopping what they're doing and come to help us. Half the time we're not even there, and they're there working on stuff. So.
Wow, that's amazing. That's dedication right there.
Team. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. So.
That's amazing.
We had fun doing it, like I said. We've already got more memories this year than we've had in the past. It's been a lot of fun.
Meet a lot of nice people. Meet a lot of not so nice people.
Yeah.
But, you know, it all works out.
That's life, right? No.
Yeah, the main jobs are definitely Nast Auto Body.
Oh yes, because he's got a body shop, right? Bill Nast, right? Yeah. Yeah. You want to do a shameless plug for his shop?
Yeah, so he definitely puts a lot of time and faith.
It's gotta be perfect. So, ain't leaving the shop unless it's perfect.
Well, he's a
We
perfectionist.
know it's gonna get a scratch on it before we even get back to the shop.
Race sled, but
Yeah, we get them down there and we wet sand and then we dry. We wet sand and we buff and we wet sand.
And then he comes back and says, "Not good. Now keep going."
wow.
And then he keeps going.
Yeah, no, but they look good.
Yeah, they look amazing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be be possible to do this without our sponsors this year. We've got a great group of people that stood behind us and are supporting us, and it's really awesome that even Ruby's down here letting us have this nice party down here for us. So they're behind us this year, so we're very thankful for them.
If you want, you can zoom in there.
Going behind? Oh yes, good idea.
Yeah, this year we've
Berlin
got,
City Auto Group, Beatty Enterprises.
Yes.
See, of course, I got the camera in front.
Yep, BEI Enterprise, Berlin City Auto Group, TMS Diesel, Doolin Fuel Co., WM Turner Excavation, Bear Small Engine Repairs, Cameron Seal Coating, Capital Well, Crane Snowmobile Museum, Hammer Down Construction, Hammer Down Adventure Park, EKC Transportation, Better Day Donuts, Swallow & Son Landscaping, the Lancaster Motel, the Compass Rose, Schofield Septic Service, Rodebeck, Signs by Scott, Dodge Construction, Norris Davis Electric, and KK Transportation.
That's amazing. That's a lot of support.
Yeah, we got a lot this year.
We're very happy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be possible without them. They help us where we need it the most sometimes. So
Yeah, for sure.
they get us out there. And
The old saying, it takes money to win.
that's it.
Yeah.
An old wise man once told us, you're only going to go as fast as all in deep.
Yeah, that's true.
So good thing for them, we have deep wallets.
Yes. That's amazing.
Now we have fun. And good thing for them guys. Can't thank them enough. Really, so.
Yeah.
So I had my mics off there for a minute, but yeah, as you can see, we had an amazing time there at the Lancaster Motel Friday night at the send-off party for the NBR Racing team. They're off to Eagle River, I think, tomorrow. But any thoughts on that, Rob, what we were looking at there?
Oh, they'll have a blast down there. Yeah, and some of the stories they talk about, I can remember. One time at Peterborough Racetrack,
Sure.
one of the machines ran into my machine in the pits. So I didn't even get out to qualify Friday night. So we brought the snowmobile right into the motel room and put it on the spare bed and started tearing apart because it was 30 below that night. And that team that ran into me, they came in and there was 12 of us in there working on the machine till 3 o'clock in the morning. And they helped fix it. They helped me fix it and everything. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a show of honor right there, man.
Oh,
That's
the people at race
sportsmanship.
are a good group of people.
That's amazing. That is cool. We're going to have part 2 of that interview here in a little bit, but let's take some comments and then we want to keep going here with the podcast. We've got someone on Facebook saying, I use nothing but Amsoil Dominator in my racer. Never had a burn down. Cool deal.
You know, Eagle River, there's only 2 kinds of gas you can use and two kinds of oil you can use, and one is Amsoil.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. That's cool. Now, Stacy and Art Fosler are asking if we're going to the Great Eastern Whiteout, and unfortunately, I'm not. I would love to, but I've got so much on my calendar right now. But hopefully, I will meet up with you guys sooner or later. I would love to meet up with you guys. Now, someone on Facebook is saying, I've seen pictures of the track this week. It looks awesome. The ice is thick, and it's going to be very fast. Well, I'm glad to hear the conditions are good out there.
That's one of the only tracks that their ice is blue. I don't know
really?
how they make it blue, but
that's amazing. That must look cool under the light.
They got to go 2 weekends. They got the vintage after that.
Wow. So that ice has to last. Wow. Well, cool. Let's keep going because we've got a lot to cover tonight. We're only halfway through here. Item number 5. We are the official media outlet, this podcast, for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And they decided to announce their 2023 inductees here on this podcast. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Let me cue up that footage here, and we're going to hear from Midge Rosebrook. He's going to tell us about the inductees for 2023. Let's take a look.
To you for the first time our 2023 inductees for the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And for the first time in the history of the Hall of Fame, we're going to induct a brother and a sister.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Yep. Richard DeWitt and Jackie DeWitt Rowland were both awesome racers back then in the early mid-70s. And she won a World Series, and Dickie won 3 World Series in a row. Yeah.
That's impressive.
And unfortunately, the family lost Dick at a very early age. He was only 17 years old, and he was involved in a bad car accident and was killed.
Wow.
And he was on his way to probably become another Brad Hewlings or Herb Yancey. The kid was just awesome.
Wow.
And but they were both awesome drivers back then. It was an independent team, family-run team, and big names back then, the DeWitts. So that's our first inductee, going by alphabetical order. And our next one is Richard DeSantis. Big name back then, Richard DeSantis. I won't go over details on their resumes. You will be able to go to Crane Snowmobile Museum site online, and they will be in there, and you can read all about each one's resume. So that was Richard DeSantis. All good-looking kids too, don't you think?
Yeah.
Handsome, beautiful.
Yeah, they had everything going
They
for
had
them.
everything going. They had the talent. They had the looks.
Yes.
And here's Frank Dodge. Frank is a local racer from Littleton, New Hampshire. And so he raced for Timberland Machines back in the day. And he's New Hampshire's only #1 bib holder during the golden era.
Wow.
Frank had #1 bib for 1973.
Wow.
Yeah. And, or 70, was it 73 or 74? I can't remember now, but anyway, I'll have to read it. And I'm the one that wrote up the recipes.
Huh.
So, but go online on Crane Snowmobile Museum, and you can read all these guys' resumes. And but Frank was certainly one of the top drivers back then, and another Timberland Machines member on the wall. And finally, we have Everett Regal. And Everett is probably in the top 2% on everybody's short list of engine geniuses back in the day. He made it. He did things with 2-cycle engines that people didn't think was possible. And he had the team called the Widowmakers, and Kenny Young was one of the team members, and so was Chip Elwood was on the Widowmakers team, and they did extremely well back then. And a lot of it was due to Everett Regal's ingenious methods of making those 2-strokes go faster than anybody else. So there's Everett.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. There's your 5 2023 inductees. You'll see more, hear more about it in the future, and we'll have our induction next September for an outdoor ceremony, September 10th. No, excuse me, September 9th.
9th.
Yeah, this last year was 10th. September 9th, Saturday. Usually start around 1:30. And if you want to come to that, you will see a lot of the older members that are already on the wall, and be able to shake their hands and talk to them. And these are the guys that we used to look up to. Let's face it, us New England kids didn't have any big sports figures coming to Lancaster or any of these small towns. These guys did. You can watch Richard Petty race at Daytona on television on ABC Wide World of Sports. You can watch the basketball players, the hockey players on television from Boston and New York, and but none of those guys ever came to Lancaster.
True.
These guys came, most of them, or Boonville, New York, or Bangor, Maine.
Yeah.
And they signed your autographs, and they thought we'd forgotten them, but they're finding out we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can add to that, going into our 7th year with this Hall of Fame reunion, Hall of Fame induction ceremony,
Yeah.
this has turned into a reunion for
Yeah.
anyone who's associated with or interested in Eastern racing, Eastern Snowmobile racing.
They're
Because-
family reunions.
Yeah,
Mike is right.
inductees past, present, and future show up, and anyone interested or have memories
Yeah.
of this, it's turned into a reunion kind of a situation. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful to see these awards given out. They're certainly worthy of them, and it's a wonderful thing. But the other byproduct of this that maybe no one had anticipated is that it's a wonderful reunion. It's a community,
It
and
is.
we all have a wonderful time visiting and sharing stories and laughing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a very jovial time, and it's
Yeah.
if you're interested in this sort of thing, it's something you don't want to miss.
This is something that you need to really soak right up now too, because these people are in their mid 70s, early 80s now.
Yes, the clock is ticking.
If you miss any of these inductions now, you may not see these guys again. Really. I hate to say it, but we've lost a couple now already. So if you watch these guys when you were kids, 20-somethings, teenagers, and they're in the flesh. They're right here. They're at Cranes every fall for these inductions.
Yeah.
And you stand back and you listen to these guys talking amongst each other and talking racing and the one that they missed and the accident and the guy pushed him off the track and they're laughing about it now because it's part of their history and it's a family reunion. Mike was right. It's more than an induction. It's a family reunion.
Yeah.
So,
And I think the bonds grow deeper with every passing year.
Yeah.
Because we all get to know each other better, and we look forward to seeing each
Right.
other, and it's like seeing old friends. It really is a reunion.
It is. It is. And social media. Say what you want about social media. I know there's a lot of things wrong with social media, but the things that are right about it is these folks are now being able to connect with each other on a daily basis.
Yeah.
On
the Hall of Fame
social media-
Facebook
on the Hall of Fame
Facebook
site.
group is a wonderful place for people to reconnect.
Wonderful place.
People are finding each other that
They're finding old photos.
yeah, they haven't seen each other in 50 plus years, and
Yeah,
they're finding each other, and
they are, and it's an amazing thing.
yeah,
And to be a part of that, it's something pretty special as far as I'm concerned. So
it is. And the atmosphere or the vibe, if you will, at the ceremony is very laid back and very intimate. So you can approach these people and say hi and ask them questions, get a photo taken. It's not like they're on this high pedestal and you're down below and they're
Yeah.
not accessible to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You can mix and mingle and visit with them, and
yeah.
it's
If you have
wonderful.
an old photo of them that you need need them to sign, you bring a Sharpie, and these people are, willing and to sign any autographs for you and to stand there and visit with you, and it's all personable, and
Yeah.
it's a great little event.
Yeah, and one
Yeah.
other thing to add, if you're planning to drive from any distance to attend this, the place to stay is the Lancaster Motel. Yeah, and I stayed there last night. I can personally vouch
Yeah.
for the quality experience that it is to stay there.
Yeah, it's
And-
it's an Art Deco 1950s motel.
Yeah.
The Berriman family has kept it that way. They purposely have kept that era alive, and that is where Bob Eastman stayed.
Yes, Joe Villeneuve.
That's where Joe Villeneuve stayed. It's where the Bombardier team, the Polaris team, the Arctic Cat team, they all stayed at the Lancaster Motel. They all went back to the Lancaster Motel and went into the lounge and had a few drinks with each other after the races was over. And like I've said many times, they race handle to handlebar all day long and drink elbow to elbow all night long.
Yes.
And and they've been known also to go back to the motel rooms and maybe take an engine off the chassis, take it right in the room, and,
Yeah.
and rebuild it for the next day too. So
Sure.
the place is loaded with history of the snowmobile.
Yeah, and they used to do the award ceremony right there.
yeah.
Give out the trophies right there in the lobby.
Yep, that was actually the headquarters
Yeah.
of the Grand Prix. Right.
And
there.
if someone is thinking about doing some Eastern trail riding and combining history with some trail riding, you're staying at one of the most historic places.
Yeah.
You're riding on the trails created by the first snowmobile club in America.
Yeah.
Many of those legacy trails still
Yeah,
exist.
still exists. Yeah.
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 And then, of course, you're a short walk from Crane's Snowmobile Museum.
Yeah.
It's by appointment only, so once you book your room, you want to call Crane's Snowmobile Museum and make a time,
Yeah.
make an appointment to
Yeah,
go
just
by
2
there.
blocks away, and you're
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So if you want to combine some Eastern trail riding with some amazing history,
Yeah.
and right behind the motel, of course, is the site of where the first ski-doos were imported into the U.S.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
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 So loaded with history. The Lancaster
the
Motel,
motel-
Lancaster itself, and
If buildings could see, the motel saw that truck pass by it, were the very first Bombardier Skidoo to come into the United States in 1959.
yeah, if someone knew the gravity of what was going on as that truck went by, what that would turn into.
Nobody thought a thing about it. Yeah, nobody thought a thing about it. It's
But
crazy.
Looking back on it,
Looking back on it now,
it's amazing.
it's too bad somebody wasn't there with a camera.
Yeah.
Filming the event. And,
Yeah, drum rolls and the
drum rolls and interviews with
Yeah.
Paul Crane, and it wasn't anything like that. It really wasn't.
Yeah, fireworks and fanfare. It's
What the
just
heck
true.
is this expensive toy you've got here?
Right.
It was like $900 or $1,000
Yeah.
for a toy.
Yeah.
That's what they looked at. See this little tiny machine here. And
And
Bob
it's
Bottoms
fun.
couldn't sell that sled. That original sled could not be sold that year. Nobody wanted to pay that much money for something like that.
Wow.
And a guy by the name of David Red Parks
Yep.
came in, and he says to Bob Bottoms, who was the manager at Timberland Machines, he says, tell you what I'll do. He says, I've got a woodlot in east of town, and I'll trade you that woodlot for that contraption. So the only way they got rid of that first sled was trading for a woodlot.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And later on, in '66, Bob Bottoms approached him, and he offered him a brand new 10-horse Skidoo in the crate in exchange for that first original Skidoo. And Timberland's restored that, and he donated it to the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum down in Allenstown.
Yes.
So that's still
It
the
still
first
exists.
Skidoo to come in the United States is still again New Hampshire, and that's in Allenstown.
Is that what Bob Bottoms was thinking at the time? The historic possibility with this?
He-
That it's
he-
important
he
to have that first one to.
He was a far thinker.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the minute
the visionary.
he saw, the minute he saw that sled being ridden up in Falcourt by Paul Crane, Bob Adair was looking at that originally as something for trappers, large logging operations, and so instead of having dog sleds, the trappers could use these little snowmobiles and go run trap lines with them. Bob Bottoms saw a recreational
Yeah.
boom.
And it did exactly that. The
You
boom
can see it.
exploded
It
all
exploded.
over the snow belt. Yes.
They were
and there was
selling
shrapnel everywhere.
Timberland was selling over 10,000 snowmobiles out of this little small town in the mid-'60s, early '70s. They had to build a whole new building up the head of Main Street, and I don't know if you guys saw that little clip Mike and I did here a while ago, but it was a crazy time. But anyway, the people that raced them, and their names were on every Monday morning newspaper in the snow belt.
That was big news.
Big news. They've got their own Hall of Fame now. So
Yeah. That's cool.
yeah.
Cool.
All right, Mike. Thanks for doing this for us, and we'll see you on the podcast.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So you heard it here, folks. And I thank the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame so much for allowing us to break that news here on the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. Any thoughts on what we were looking at there, Rob?
Oh, that's amazing what they do that for those people, eh? Yeah.
For sure.
And look how many small towns that those racers showed up, like he talked. Like Daytona people don't come. I know all the small towns around our place, that's what brought everybody out was the Winterfest and had the big pros show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Now we've got another comment that's come in. We've got David from Alaska Railroad saying congrats to all of those racers. And yeah, thank you so much for congratulating them. With high honor. And as you saw from those images of all those inductees and all the smiles on those faces, it really is a joyous reunion type of environment. So if you're curious at all about Eastern Snowmobile Racing, it's the event of the season. It really is. Consider joining us in Lancaster September 9th and staying at the Lancaster Motel. So let's keep going with the podcast here because we've still got a lot to cover and we're almost out of time, but I'm going to push the envelope and go over a little bit tonight. We're on item number 6. Now, you saw we were standing there in Midge Rosebrook's kitchen talking about those inductees. Well, Midge had a message for Rob. So let me load that up here and we're going to take a look at what Midge had to say for Rob here. Here it is. Let's take a look.
This is for our friend Rob Hilditch, the Amsoil guy. See what I have here, Rob. And I think you have a photo of my sled last year at Pittsburgh. Mike, you can probably pop that up. I've got this 1975 Polaris clone PDC. It started out as a 77 TX 440. And I had Mark Belanger do the job. And Mike has got a photo of it, I believe, somewhere. And you can pop it on. And there's a photo of me sitting on that sled getting ready to head out in the Pittsburgh ride up north in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire this last March. It was 35, 40 degrees. We had 8 inches of wet, heavy snow. It snowed all day. And I was trying to break in this new engine. It was probably the worst conditions of trying to break in an engine is to take off on a 30-mile run at 50, 60 miles an hour, because that's the speed these guys were going up there, to break in this new engine. But it ran perfect all day long, and I believe a lot of it is probably due to this racing AMSOIL that I use. It's you only use like I think I did a little more than 50 to 1. It says 50 to 1 here, but I think I did more like 40 to 1 to break in the engine. And so anyway, just a shout out to Rob that I'm using it as well, and there you have it. And happy trails when we get snow.
Yes. And if you're curious about buying some AMSOIL, just click the link in the description. And in doing so with my dealer number, you're helping to support the podcast. And I thank you so much in advance for doing that, and thank all of the people who have been doing that. That helps to support the podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you. That helps to support the podcast. You're doing this.
Yeah. Well, I thought this would make Rob smile.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated for that.
For sure. Yeah, that was really nice of him to do that. That was a great testimonial.
Yes.
Cool. And I'm glad he thought of you. That was really cool.
Yes. Well, thank him very much for me.
I will. And he'll be watching this for sure. But, well, cool. So let's move on now to item number 7. We're going to talk about some snowmobile history in the lobby of the Lancaster Motel. While I was there and had a little bit of downtime between some of the interviews, I walked around and did a kind of a little historical conversation, or monologue, I guess you'd call it. But let's take a look at that.
So while these guys are getting their glasses filled, I'll tell you some stories, as much as I can here, about the Lancaster Motel. Back in the 60s and 70s, they had the Lancaster Grand Prix just up the road, some of the earliest and biggest racing in New England, or Northern New England at least at the time. And the award ceremony for the Grand Prix every year would be right here in this room. The racers would race elbow to elbow every day on the track, and after they're finished racing, they'd come and drink elbow to elbow in that bar over there. And the award ceremony where they'd hand out the trophies was right here at this media bar. So get a look at that media bar. Now get a look at this image. This image was taken right at that media bar, and that is none other than Gilles Villeneuve himself, right here in this very room, right against that wall, receiving his trophy. And plenty other big names were here. Bob Eastman was here many times. They stayed at this motel. All the big name racers who would come for racing at the Grand Prix back in the day would stay here at the Lancaster Motel. And as lore has it, as legend has it, many times they would take the snowmobiles, or at least the snowmobile engines, right into the rooms and work on them through the night so they could be ready for the next day of racing. Just tons and tons of history here in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Snowmobile City, USA is what many people call this, the snowmobile capital of the world. Why do they call it that? The reason they call it that is the first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported into the U.S. right here in Lancaster. In fact, if it were light out, I'd take you outside, but right behind this building, on the other side, is the building where the first Ski-Doos were imported into the U.S. Now, the man we were talking to a few minutes ago, Paul Crane, he was the first American to ride a Ski-Doo snowmobile in the U.S. or Canada. He also was involved with importing them here to the U.S., and he set up most of the first dealers in the U.S. He set up some of the first Ski-Doo dealerships in the U.S. He also is the founder of the first snowmobile club in America, which is here in Lancaster, New Hampshire. That guy we were talking to a few minutes ago, Shane Beatty, he is the president of the first snowmobile club in America, right here in Lancaster, New Hampshire. So if you are interested in snowmobile history, want to snowmobile on some of those legacy trails, many of those trails still exist. The Snowdrifters, I think it's the Snowdrifters, let me take a look here. Yeah, the Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club can set you up. They let you know what are those legacy trails. That can make that happen for you. Now, if that weren't enough, Crane's Snowmobile Museum is walking distance from this motel. So there's just so much to offer here in Lancaster at the Lancaster Motel if you're thinking about some Eastern trail riding. We're right on the trail, right on US Corridor Trail 5. You can snowmobile right out your door. You have Crane's Snowmobile Museum just a walk down the street. It's by appointment only, so once you book your room here for snowmobile trail riding at the Lancaster Motel, your next call is to Crane's Snowmobile Museum to book a time to go in there to see the museum. There's over 100 sleds in there.
So yeah, shout out to our good friends over at the Lancaster Motel. They threw a heck of a party last week for the NBR Racing team, the send-off party for them. Everyone had a great time, and it's just a great place, great people that own it and run it. Just can't say enough about it. But any comments on what we're looking at there, Rob?
Oh, those guys do a great job in doing all that. Yeah, that takes a lot of volunteer work for a group to do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So, well, let's continue here. We've got one last video to look at. This is part 2 of the interview with the NBR Racing team. This was in the lobby of the Lancaster Motel. The Lancaster Motel threw a send-off party for them. They're heading out to Eagle River tomorrow to participate in the racing over there, and we were able to get an interview with them. So let me cue that up here. Let's take a look. Now, we haven't topped up this sled yet. Is there anything on this? This is Lucas's sled.
That's the same sled that we had last year.
Yeah.
We've got 2 of them in clones.
Yeah.
This one was built brand new last year. We didn't run this one too much. But we really changed quite a bit on this one this year. We kind of, so we, the Gents chassis, and we got some new power plants this year, so we're excited about those. And we've got another sled that's a down for this one. That's back at the garage that we tested yesterday. So
Nice.
we're hoping to bring 2 out there and hopefully maybe have another driver for one of them. But if not, then we'll get the backup.
Nice. Now, are my eyes playing tricks on me, or is there neon light coming from under the? I like it. Disco. Nice. Very cool.
Gotta catch the eye somehow.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, would that be on while you're racing, or is that just for here?
Yeah.
Nice.
We watched last year at Eagle River, but yeah, under the lights.
Friday Night Thunder, it was on.
Nice. That's cool.
Really cool.
There's no mistaking you for anyone else when you get the lights
No,
on.
you can take it out pretty good. Yeah, they're easy to follow.
That's
How many
cool.
people of us out there that have them? Like, there's one other guy.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, we got a nice banner going on here.
Yeah, we got Climb, we got Polaris, we got Woody's, and BP Racing Fuel.
On top of our sponsors.
On top of our
local
sponsor.
sponsor.
Nice.
Woody's has good traction.
Yeah.
Action product. Getting us first before.
You want to talk that up as far as your experiences with Woody's and using their products? Or?
We always had really good luck with these. I mean, that's all we really ran too. So we
We buy the slim eliminators, competition studs,
Yeah.
peanuts, backers. We buy the backers the wall flat backers.
Yeah.
good service, good quality. We go through a lot of them. There.
Yeah, we sharpen them, we put them back in, we miss them, they go flying. But no, Woody's has always been good.
Good.
Good quality product.
So for someone who's considering traction products, either for trail or for race, you'd recommend them? Wonderful.
Yeah, they've been good to us over the years.
Yep.
Definitely Eastern VP and Elliot Mays would get our fuel price.
Yeah. Nice.
Can't thank Steve over there enough.
Good.
So, been good to us.
Same with the Climb gear.
Yeah.
Top-notch quality, warm. You're never going to be cold. It's too warm.
When it's 30 below, you need that.
Last year it was 30 degrees, and I actually had my race suit. I didn't even wear it. I wore my Climb gear that I got for just around the pits and stuff. It was so cold, and that stuff kept me so warm. Negative 30, the wind was blowing. So Climb gear, top-notch quality, super warm, good stuff.
Nice. And durable in a racing situation.
Yep, wicked strong.
Takes the rough and tumble and all that. Nice.
Yep.
Well, cool.
Very good. Very good stuff.
Yeah. Was there anything we haven't covered? Anything anybody wants to talk about that we haven't?
Yeah, that was a good thing this year. Me and Lucas definitely did not think we were going to get the amount of sponsors that we did. But we were very grateful that everybody was very willing to be a part of it.
Yeah, that is a serious list. That shows some serious support from the community.
Yeah,
True, yeah.
We need room to grow.
Definitely. So if anyone is watching this,
Right, these two walking in right here, they're some of our sponsors right here.
Right
here we go.
We got our TMS Diesel and Bruin City coming in.
Nice.
So,
In fact, I got a DVD for you.
oh, there you go.
There you go. That's what we're doing here tonight. I got for you guys too, but once we pause, I'll play Santa with the DVDs.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your sponsorship.
Yeah, we were just talking about sponsors and thanking our sponsors this season. Wouldn't be possible without you guys. So,
Well, it's never enough, but a little bit helps.
it all adds up.
This is a great opportunity for a shameless plug if you want to talk it up. Do you want to talk up the business?
Best salesman right here in the Northeast.
Oh, we got, we're getting another one of these sponsors. Just
Right there, the man in the black, that's Joe Dragono, capital left.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Let me give you a DVD.
Oh, we got a diesel.
There we go.
What about like the 100th? Oh, you're the second.
But the timing couldn't be more perfect because if you'd like to do a shameless plug for your business, the camera's right on you if you want to talk it up. No? Okay.
Just call anyway. Email preferably. Phone systems are down.
Yeah, that is a serious list of sponsors. That's a show of support. That's not something you can fake, to get that kind of support.
That's draft.
Yeah, that was Spencer.
Just
Give one of those bullet hole pickers.
That's right.
So yeah, only at the Lancaster Motel.
They were talking about the Klein clothes, eh?
Yes.
Amsoil approached them and they made Klein made gloves.
Let me put you full screen here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Good for 45 below zero. Oh, they ever nice and warm.
Oh, nice.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So those are your go-to gloves when it's real cold out.
Yes. And it has a
Very
little rubber
cool.
thing right in here. So if you get snow on when you're racing, you can clean your goggles. Pretty cool.
Very nice.
They're expensive
nice.
clothing, but they're well worth the money. Oh, I bet you these things are 9 years old already.
Wow. Yeah, the best is never cheap.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
I've been trying to buy a pair of their pants, and they're sold out all last year, and I still can't get a pair this year.
Wow. Yeah. Very impressive.
Good
We've got another
quality.
comment that's come in. Go ahead.
Good quality stuff.
Nice. So we've got David from Alaska Railroad saying thanks to Mike and Rob. Good show. Well, you're very welcome for that. And what I'm going to do, I've got one last video. I was going to do it if we were short on time. We're actually long on time, but I'm still going to do it. It's just a couple of minutes. It's another video that Midge and I made over at his house. So let me roll that real quick. It'll explain itself.
So we've got
Mike LaPierre, folks, a guy that helps us out more than just about anybody. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, we've got this time capsule DVD. This was a summer project for Midge and I. We had an awful lot of fun making it. And Midge's cousin was able to come up with some 8mm footage from back in the day. So Midge and I were talking, well, how can we put this into some kind of a presentation that people would enjoy? So what we did is we came up with doing it as a talk show format where he and I are talking and we're rolling the footage. And anytime there was something or someone that we knew something about, we would freeze the frame and talk that person up or talk that situation up. Whatever information we had about them, we would talk that up. And we went for almost 2 hours like that.
Yeah.
And just freezing the frame. There's a lot of people that we knew that from back in the day to talk up. There was plenty of opportunities to talk people up, situations up. And by the way, this is footage from the Lancaster Grand Prix in 1971 and racing in Malone, New York in 1973.
Yeah.
So we've got this into almost 2 hours of, it literally is a time capsule from snowmobile racing back in the heyday in the early 70s.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun making it, and I think you'll have a lot of fun viewing it.
It's great. I think it's the best one we've done. One of the best we've done.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And what I'm doing to sweeten the deal, so to speak, is if you can place the order, the information's in the description of this video, I'm going to sweeten it with some extra DVDs. So this is an extra DVD here. This is 3 episodes of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast from the 21-22 season. And then to sweeten it further, this is another DVD, 3 more episodes from the 22-23 season. So there's at least 3 hours of Vintage Snowmobile programming on each of these discs, plus 2 hours on this. So this is, what's 8 hours of Vintage Snowmobile programming? And I'm going to sound like the Ginsu guy and say, but wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
There's more.
Yeah.
No, we also do a muscle car podcast. And we've got 3 episodes of the Muscle Car Podcast on this DVD from the previous season. There's another 3 hours. So that's 8 plus 3, that's 11 hours of programming. 9 hours, 8 hours of Vintage Snowmobile programming, another 3 hours of muscle car programming, all for $15 plus $5 to ship. So $20 gets you this care package from these gentlemen you're looking at right here. And it's a wonderful way to support the Hall of Fame.
It helps support this, folks.
Yes, it also supports Crane Snowmobile Museum and the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. So if you enjoy any or all of these things, it's a wonderful way to support us. The funds we generate with this are divided 3 ways between those entities, the Hall of Fame, Crane Snowmobile Museum, and the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast.
Yeah.
And I hope you will decide to pick up one of these.
Yeah.
Plus the bonus DVDs. It's what, 11 hours of programming? That'll keep you busy on your DVD player for quite a while.
Yeah.
You'll wear a
rainy
groove in
day
your couch.
or cold, 30 below 0 or something like that. Someday you could sit down and watch them, and
you can wear a groove in your couch, binge watching all of these episodes.
Yeah.
And it'll be worth it. Thank you in advance for your support on this.
Yeah.
And the address of where to mail a check is in the description, and we thank you so much for your support. Cool.
Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
All right.
Good idea, Mike.
Cool deal. Yeah. So if you're curious about that, there's information in the description, so you can pick up that deal with the time capsule DVD and the bonus DVDs. It's an excellent value, and I hope you'll enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it. We've got a few quick comments, and then we're going to close out the podcast. We are going long tonight, but it's been a great time. Let's see. Reese Fleury says, "Great show, guys. I'll hit you up, Mike. I'm looking forward to that email." And okay, yes, he corrected his typo. Cool deal. I knew what you meant, though. And then, yes, someone's saying, "Great show tonight. Good luck to NBR Racing, and congrats to the new inductees of the Hall of Fame." Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for those compliments. Any final comments, Rob, before we wind it down?
You know what? Every week the show seems to get better and better, Mike. Lots of
It's true.
information.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It gets better, I think, with each one, and I think it gets more fun. It's
Yes. Yeah.
I think we have a lot of fun doing this, and if the viewers are having half as much fun as you and I are, I think we've got something here.
Yep. The guy from Cranes, tell him find out what size shirt he wants and send it to me.
Yes. Oh, Midge?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I will.
Yep.
Well,
We'll
cool
get him
deal.
a shirt for that promotion.
Nice. Well, cool. All right. Well, as always, the last word goes to our friends at Amsoil. Let me find that and cue that up. And yeah, everyone, have a wonderful week. Happy New Year. We'll catch you in 1 week's time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, wherever you're watching this.
Okay. Have a good week, Mike.
You too. Take care. Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero.
Wow.
If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil is an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer. You save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value, and this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters, free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure, for sure. So when you sign up under that that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL.
Wonderful.
People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.